like a monkey, it means that they can't continue that species because they have to naturally do because they show a natural selection. Okay, there is a changing of weather, there is a changing of species, there is a changing of organism, there is a changing of food, weather, so they have to survive. They intermediate with any other species, so this RD organism is stop at the human species. Okay, so we will continue this thing next again. So suggest that walk upright. Like, however, it's a really app. Like, it has these really long arms and it is really adapted to the climbing. For example, if I told you that human is used to live like a monkey, which is known as RD, and that RD has a very long arms because they have to live in a jungle. In a jungle, they have to be a strong paws. They have to be strong, sharp nails. They have a very long arms for climbing and for jumping in the trees, for finding searching of their food, for shelter, and any other things. That's why we call that species an RD. And the next thing, when they crawling on the ground, they used to stand up like a Lucy. Okay, and after that, when the hair decreases, we have a Liube, and after that we have a human. This is a evolution. This is a variation in the genes of a human from first day to the till. Okay, over the time humans have begun to evolve. So we also have another example of the stones. Okay, tools that different human use now, older fossil fuels, as you see, and every age of a human they use a different kind of weapons. There we have a stone age, we have a bronze age, we have a gold age, and we have a metal age. Every species use a different kind of weapons for their survival of life in the jungle. Okay, this was basically just find a big rocky that did not have the intelligence to shape the rock or used in a special ways. They just found a big rock to whack off animals, and humans moved on. And at the start of the ID, they only use the big rocks to move, to show action to the animals that move towards them, to just provide protection to them. After the evolution and variations came in the human's life, they used to give a shape, size to the stones, to the metal age, to the bronze age, and to the gold age, to give a sharp look. Okay, maybe skin animals stab them. Then the much more evolved fossils like leaky managed to shape rocks and mold them their own shape used to them for a specific purpose. We have another example. We have a different kind of hands like human, dolphin, and turtle. Provide okay, so this is every species, every skeleton of a hand is different from each other. Okay, but can you count the fingers of each? Every fingers is, I guess, 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4, yes, every finger is 5. We have a human limb, dolphin limb, and a turtle limb. Okay, stay all different shape, but they all have these 5 parts. The fact that they have these 5 parts suggests that they all come from a common ancestor. So you, if you have to combine the two different species, you can took any common thing that is similar to each other. As we discussed about the human, dolphin, and turtle, they have a 5 paws. Okay, 5 fingers in their hand. That's mean that they are coming from the similar ancestors. Okay, they give an example of that. These are the parts from is different to each animal, so it suggests that they have become evolved to be better at what they need to do. So human is a very long to make it reach and grab. Dolphins are quite short and strong for swimming to the shape is suited for what it needs to do. Okay, so the dolphin has a 5 paws because dolphin use that 5 paws for the swimming, and turtle for the crawling, and the human for the work. So we have a 5 kingdom system: animals, plants, fungi, prokaryotes, and protists. Okay, the kingdom is look like this: phylum, class, order, family, genes, and species. Okay, the kingdom is look like this, and we have a 5 kingdom system like this. Okay. Ever since humans have been around, love to classify things. We love sorting them into group as we have 5 kingdoms of classify. All living things. So we have animals, first kingdom, plants, we have fungal, fungi, and we have prokaryotes prokaryotes and protist. So these are the five groups that can classify animals into animals, plants, fungi. Every organism is classified into their species, into their structure. Their species, this is based off the visible traits. We classify them. So if we have a bird that is belong to a different kingdom, you will say that that is a sparrow kingdom. You can clearly saw the traits and the features. And we have a crow, we have an eagle. So we have different kind of kingdom that comes in animals, that come in a birds. And every animal species is different from each other. Animals, elephants, horse, deer, every animal is different from each other. Okay, this is a system now a bit out of date. We can use the genetic analysis. We have to use the genetic analysis. So, what kind of genetic analysis we use to define any species from each other by their DNA? Archaea, bacteria, eukarya. Okay, these are the types of animals. We have archaea, which looks similar to bacteria but have a different sequence. Have a true bacteria. This is the best example. Then we have a eukarya. Now, eukaryotes is a broad range of all other organisms. So these are the more complex multicellular organisms. They have been sorted into this three domain system. They are then sorted into lots of their groups. Okay. So we have a domain system. What is known as domain system? This is genetic analytics. Okay. We have a bacteria. We have a different kind of bacteria. This is archaea. This is bacteria. This is eukarya. And every this species, every domain system contains a gene system, unicellular. They have a DNA, they have a genes, they have a nucleus in them. So this is a system. Okay, if we do a selective breeding, breed animals with desired traits. For example, if we have two big cows, if they breed with each other, that's mean they will reproduce a very extra big cow because they have a dominant trait which is a big, which is a fatty, which is a very large in size. So in that way they will reproduce. They will breed in a very big cow. Okay. Okay. So this is the characteristics that offspring is take from their parents. So we really huge, fat, strong cow breed a big cow. They will reproduce another big cow. I hope you understand everything.
Yes.
Okay, and after that, breed this extra big cow with another big. Okay, if we breed this extra big cow with another extra big cow, it's mean that end up cow like this, which is specially adapted for what we wanted to do. We can get lots of meat, lots of things. So if we reproduce inheritance a very big cow, it's mean that that big cow will survive in this nature. That will be a selective selection by a nature. So what things that will help us, that will be beneficial for us? We have a large meat. We can took a lot of work with that strong and big cow. Okay, we are done with the example of animal. Now we'll move to the example of plants. Okay, in plants we have a tissue cultures, and tissue culture which shows us some kind of changing in them. So to grow a cells, this can be used to clone a plant. If we cut a small part of plant off and put it on growing medium to something that helps the plant cells grow, we can grow entire new clone of a plant. For example, if we have a one plant in a one vase, we can cut that plant and we can produce put that plant into another vase. We can produce same plant with the same species but a slightly different variations, maybe size, maybe color, maybe fruit. So we make a new plant that is selectively adapted by this nature. Create a callus, which is just a clump. Okay, clump of a cells grow animal cells. We can extract some particular cells, put them on a growing medium like we did with the plants. We can treat them with a particular hormones or chemicals to make them specialize. If we cut that special baby plant from its mother parents plant, we have to provide that baby plant a special care for the survival of that plant in this nature without their parents. Okay, good, because we can test different medicine on specific cells without having to worry about the rest of the organism. So next thing is a genetic modification. Okay, what is the genetic modification? Changing of gene, essentially different organism. We are going to use the insulin gene, a human DNA. Okay, we take our human DNA, we use a restriction enzyme to cut out the insulin gene, and after that insulin gene is going to put into a plasmid. And after that, you might remember that plasmid is a part of a bacterial cell. This is a vector. Known, a vector means something that can be used to transport that gene into another cell. So this is an example of insulin. So there is a time period of a COVID. Okay, so after COVID, any person who catch COVID and the COVID-19, after the protection, after the vaccine is made, they used to vaccine themselves. Do you know how vaccination is made? Vaccination is made in a genetic fermentation process, in a neobiotechnology process, in which there is a DNA, there is a gene that is took from the human hormones, and that DNA genes, it fermented, it placed with a special bacteria which is known as a plasmid, and both genes and bacteria live with each other. They do a physical and chemical changes with each other in a genetic biotechnology, new biotechnology. They undergo a fermentation. The scientists provide some kind of environmental adaptations, environmental nature, food, and the proteins for their production. When they're done with their chemical reactions, we in the resultant form we get a insulin. This is a genetic variations. Okay, in the survival of life we have to use this variation for the natural adaptation, for the selection adaptations. I hope you understand each and everything in today's lecture.